Hello and welcome to another episode of Played with Meg and Mike. We just got out of our top 6 tribal council, where April was immune, and by a vote of 3 to 2 to 1, James was voted out in 6th place. James, what was today like, and why do you think you're talking to us now?
Well, today was sure exciting. It was first time in a while. I think since first time since the merge that I actually talked to a lot of people and trying to strategize and scheme and whatnot. And it was exciting. And I was, like I said in the previous video, I was glad that it was only 6 of us and not 14 of us. And it was, I think that it was manageable. And yeah, especially me being here in Ontario on vacation definitely helped. I had all day to kind of text people, message people, think about things. And It definitely helped. It kind of sucks that I got voted out now that I'm on vacation, but yeah, it is what it is. And it's been fun. It's been good.
Or maybe it's good that you got voted out on vacation so you can live your life.
That's a good way of seeing it. Yeah.
I agree. I was going to say the same thing, Meg. It's like a blessing and a curse, but now you don't have to worry about this over the rest of the week and the weekend and everything.
Exactly.
So, the last time you played this game was 13 years ago. And if I remember correctly, you were voted out pretty early and you got roasted a fair amount.
Yep.
Are you pretty proud of yourself to come 6th place and outlast everybody in your group except for John?
Oh, for sure. That game we played, I guess however many years ago, it was a completely different game. And it's funny because like Chris said in his play video, last play video, he said that we all joined because Peter German actually, rallied and asked all the bastards to join up. And I thought, Survivor Hamilton. And I even forgot, contrary to Chelsea's beliefs, I even forgot about how what place I was voted off in and how I did. So I was Survivor Hamilton. All I knew was that I was voted off early, and then I signed up, and it's been a blast. And I didn't even think that I would be I would be 6th place. Sorry,
you did it pretty good. You made it really far.
Yeah,
I don't feel you spent much time with the target on your back.
No, it was thankfully not. I mean, the bastards were targeted, but not me specifically. It was actually nice flying under people's radar, and joining up. My goal was to beat my last. I don't know. Was it third last place finish last time I played?
Probably, but there was 40 people in that game. But yeah, it was.
There was a lot of people. So I'm my goal was to beat that place, and I did. And then when I did, I was it'd be nice to make the merge. It would be awesome. And then I did, and I was it'd be nice to make the top 10. And then I did. I was oh wow, I'm happy here. I would have never thought I'd make it this far. And today I was it would be nice if I make it top 5, but didn't quite happen that way. But I'm very happy with how I performed this season. Definitely.
It seems like a lifetime ago, but how well do you remember almost being voted out first on Kobara?
Yeah, it was interesting because I didn't know that many people in Kobara. I mean, I knew of a few. I knew who people were because I'm friends with Chris, and Chris pretty much knows everybody in the game. And so I wasn't that I think we were targeting that's the challenge that John House screwed up. So I was I can
one of the challenges that John House
one of the challenges. Yeah, but I mean, I bust his balls, but I mean, I've known John House for a long time. I mean, I may not have kept in touch with him or whatever, but I've known him since we were in our early 20s. So, I would make fun of him and whatever, whatnot. But it's all in good fun. And when he screwed that challenge up, I was like, well, let's go with the obvious choice, because let's not like split up the tribe or whatever on the first vote, and let's go with the easy choice. Like John House reached out to me, and he pleaded his case, and I thought, like, and some of the guys, I think Peter and Elliot wanted to keep John House around too. So the 97 Churchill connection, they used to be all roommates and stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm good to not vote him. Let's think of somebody else. So we left it as that, and then came Saturday, I think. Yeah, it was a Saturday vote. Somehow I found out my name was in the mix. Like, and that caught me off guard, because I'm like, whoa, like, me already? Like, I thought people really don't know me and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you all know what happened from there. So yeah.
Was there a point on that day where you thought you were going to be the first one voted out of that tribe?
Definitely, because I was doing the math in my head, and there were
more people who knew Silas.
Like, there were only four of us, the bastards. It was me, Peter, Chris, Elliot. Yeah, there was only four of us. And then I kind of thought, like, I know Kyle, so I thought Kyle would stick with us. So that's five of us, but there were what, like 15 people in the tribe? Yeah, so 15 of us. So I'm like, oh, like, if we don't like make our case, then I could be going home. And I know Silas pretty much knew everyone in the tribe. So yeah, it was a close vote. It was a close vote.
And then after that, you basically got 3.5 weeks off from the game, and then you got a really fortunate tribe swap to be able to stick with Chris, Elliot, Chris, Peter, and then you got John on there as well. What was the time? What was the few weeks on Navala like? Did you just, like you described in tribal council, you just kind of got to sit under the radar and let Chris go to work?
Yeah, I mean, like, we didn't have to work that hard, to be honest, because we knew we had the majority, and like, we were dealt a hand, like a really good hand, and we weren't gonna throw that away. Like, I know that people criticize us for, like, just sticking with the boys and whatever, whatnot, but, like, when you're playing poker, when you got like triple kings, you're not gonna, like, you're not gonna toss that away. And that's what we had, and we stuck with it, and it was just process of elimination pretty much from then and there. And I knew that, I mean, voting Amanda off was a tough choice, because, like, I really liked working with Amanda, but like, I knew that we had the numbers with Amanda too. So that was 5 of us versus, I think there were 8 of us in the tribe when the tribe swap happened. 7 to start with. So I knew that two, I think it was Andre.
You had 4 of 7 right off the bat.
Exactly. And then I knew Amanda would work with us. I knew she could turn on us, but then, like, we already had 4. So yeah, there wasn't much to worry about. Things got hairy when it was down to 4 of us, right? So it was that was a little tough. Like, we had to win challenges, so it was getting pretty sketchy there for a bit. But I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad we pulled it off, or however way you want to see it. Like, we either pulled it off, or other people threw challenges towards the end, and 4 of us made it to the merge, and that was that.
Because
Who do you think is the puppet master of the whole game?
I don't think there's just one person, to be honest. I think a lot of people made moves, like, behind people's backs, and I think it's just this concept that people created. Like, how people get really paranoid, like, the day of the voting, and everyone thinks that it's them getting voted off. I think it's the same thing. It's like everyone thinks that there is this one person that's kind of like, staying in the background and kind of orchestrating everything, and yeah, but I think it's just a figment of people's imagination.
I agree, but it's so funny.
I think it's funny too. Yeah.
So you kept the majority, but in Navala, you kind of were on a downward trajectory, you kept losing challenges. How much did you know about Peter's deal with Kyle on Kobara, or did you know about that at all?
Nope, didn't know that. Didn't know about that at all. Peter kept it hush hush. I knew Peter was doing something. Chris mentioned this on his play video that, like, yeah, out of four of us, we would have voted Peter off first. And it's not that we don't like Peter the least or whatever. It's nothing personal. It's just that within the game, he kept pretty quiet. And I can understand why Chelsea thought Peter was a huge threat, because Peter just wouldn't show any of his cards. Like, not even with the Bastards. Like, he would just kind of, like, you know, put his 2 cents here and there, and then nada from him, you know, whereas Chris and I and John would, you know, talk strategy. Oh, should we try this or should we try that? So yeah, so it was, we actually came close to considering Pete and voting Peter off. And I think casted one vote towards Pete, one of the votes. I don't know. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that I did vote for Pete, one of the votes in Navala. So
I love that you guys are just sharing that. I didn't ask you guys to say, did you guys consider voting Peter out? You're both just throwing it out. You didn't have to.
Well, it's because like
Take
I don't
that,
know, like,
Peter.
well,
That's what you get for being present with your family.
It's because, like, guys like Kyle would say, oh, it's a bunch of load of bullshit, like the Bastards, they all vote together and whatever. But we really did consider, like, voting one of us out, and that was Peter. Like, Peter would have, you know, we came close, but we decided not to. So on the outside, like, if you don't know what's going on, then yeah, on the outside, you're like, oh, the Bastards are always staying together, they're always voting together and whatnot. But we've experienced some turmoil too, like, you know, and we banded together and we made it through.
So when you joined the merge, you still had the four of you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you only had Elliot for like a day or so. And so that was probably a bummer. But, you know, did you feel like you were in a good position with the four of you, or did you immediately feel like you guys were going to be the target for the whole merge?
I knew that we were the target from the get-go. Like, as soon as the merge happened, especially because Elliot joined in too. Because, like, I mean, I was happy that Elliot made it back, but now there's 5 of us, you know, and that's a big number. And I knew right then and there everyone would target us, and they did. You know, that was the Peter vote that that Chris had to play. Yeah, his idol on Pete and sent Chelsea packing home. Yeah. Yeah,
that was a great vote.
which I do really feel bad about. I do feel really bad about that Chelsea vote, because honestly, I do want it to work with Chelsea, and it was actually her that approached me about the secret alliance. I'm sure she approached everybody about the secret alliance, but I, you know, like, she did vote. She did vote with me for the silence vote. Her and Callan did, and I was thankful for that, you know, because I needed those votes, and I did want to repay her, but it was crazy. Like, you know, Mike, like, we sent our votes in like maybe 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
And it was we just found out like 10 minutes before the deadline that we were getting blindsided, and everything was on Chris because he had the idol. I didn't even know Chris had the idol, and all of a sudden he said, "I'm playing the idol on Peterton." I'm like, "Are you sure? Like, maybe we should let Peter go." But he was, you know, Chris was all riled up, and it was vindictive of him. But, like, I can understand, you know, we were getting completely blindsided, and he got blindsided by Kyle and Chelsea, you know, that he thought, you know, that he thought he was working with, and she was gone anyways, because, you know, John, Chris, and Peter voted for Chelsea. I was the fourth vote. Like, she was gone anyway, so I was like, I'm sorry, you know, and it had to happen. So, yeah.
Was it pretty fun to play with your friends? You know, go this far and be in an alliance with your buds and try and tackle all these different challenges throughout the game or problems, you know, that you had to solve. Not the immunity challenges, but just kind of the different curveballs that were being thrown at you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, like I moved to BC like 3 years ago, and you know I kept in touch with the Bastards. Like we had a group chat, and time to time we would talk about.
Do you guys
things
call
and
yourself
whatnot.
the Bastards outside like a lot in general, or is it just this game?
No, like that's what we've been calling ourselves since we were like 17.
Is your group chat named the Bastards?
Yep.
I love that.
I'll actually send our group chat photo of us. I think it was like 12 years ago, us playing paintball or something, and yeah, you will see our young faces in it. Yeah, we've been calling ourselves that.
And were
time.
all of the Bastards in the game, or are there non-Bastards?
No, there were couple guys that decided not to join. Had they joined, that would have been pretty hilarious. But I mean, yeah, it was unfair, like from the get-go, and
well, not that unfair, obviously.
I know, yeah, it's true. Once our intentions were revealed, but I think
we can thank
some
John
people,
House in the video series for that.
It's true, but people already kind of knew. Like it's no secret that we all kind of knew each other from camp and stuff, and even like even Cowan mentioned it, and he was, I don't know if it's true or not, but he told me that like he got David M out in Navala because he knew that David M was gonna work with us, or we were friends with him and whatnot. So I was like, oh, like yeah, there was some. It was no secret. It wasn't a secret like Dave S and Shareed secret, you know, like.
Oh yeah, that was such a funny secret. I loved that reveal.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was pretty awesome.
So do you feel like you and the Bastards are closer than ever?
Well, we've been close, but as I was saying, yeah, like I moved to BC 3 years ago and kept in touch here and there and whatnot. But you know, like being away, being you know, pretty much half a world apart, it's kind of hard to keep in contact. But yeah, like through this game, I've been talking to them like almost every day, chatting with them, and it was really great. But not only them, like I got to meet all sorts of cool people and work with them and chat with them and yeah, like and now that I'm in Ontario, like I'm gonna be at the barbecue, and it'd be really cool to like.
That's
yeah,
so fun.
like yeah, it'd be awesome to like actually meet some of the people that I work with that I never met before, you know, so yeah, I'm excited about that. It's been fun.
Meg, are you coming to the barbecue?
Yeah, I think so. I have to check and see if Sash is driving, but I think so. I think so.
So James, I think it's fair to bring up the fact that you won the idol that Chris got voted out, that got nullified. So what was the conversation like where you gave the idol to Chris? Because I'm sure that thinking back, you could be like, man, I really could have used that today.
Yeah. Oh man, well, I can't be too mad because the only reason why I won that idol is because of Chris and John. It happened Friday. That was like I arrived in Ontario like late on Thursday. So on Friday, we were like hanging out with family here up at the cottage and stuff, and I wasn't even paying attention. And then Chris calls me, right? And then he's like, there's a hidden immunity challenge. And I was like, oh, really? So I was looking at it, and yeah, I started counting the triangles and whatever. And I think I must have gotten to like 233 or something, right? And I was like, it was, yeah. And I think was it like 11 o'clock deadline or something? Like yeah. you set a deadline.
Basically because you hadn't answered yet. I was like,
I know, like I was the only one who hasn't guessed, and I knew that, and I was like, oh, I better get this right. So I'm like freaking out and stressing out about it. But I guess John sent in his answer, And I guess he knew that he was wrong, so he kept going at it. And he finally gave me the answer, like I think 3:15 or something. He's like, just send that in. I was like, are you sure? I'm 2:55. He's like, just send this in. I was like, okay. So I sent that in at like 2 minutes to go, and yeah, I got that right. So I didn't consider it like my idol, because I knew like if it wasn't for Chris and John, like I wouldn't have won it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this to save them. And yeah, last tribal, we knew that every tribal, I think it's either John or me, and we knew that we were in trouble. And Chris actually suggested it. He's like, okay, like it's ironic because Chris said, he said, I think I'm pretty safe, but I think they're gonna split the vote between you and John. And I was like, oh really? I was like, okay, like, you know. And so he said that if it's you, like you can choose to play. He said like you can choose to play if you feel like you're threatened, or you can transfer it to me for safekeeping. And he said he'll transfer it right back. And I was like, at the time it made a lot of sense to me. And yeah, like I said, I considered it our idol and not mine. So I transferred it over to Chris, thinking that, you know what, like I thought it was more. I thought John was in bigger danger than me, because John is way better than me in challenges. So yeah, I was like, okay, maybe they'll target John. And if it's me going home, then like I said, like I made top 10, more than happy with what I did. So yeah, I transferred over to Chris, and then he calls me like not even 5 minutes after 8, after the voting, and he told me, he's like, oh, James, I'm sorry, I had to use the idol on myself, like I gotta win that, my name's on the chopping block tonight, or whatever.
He
I was like,
said, hey, give me that idol, I'll hold on to it for you. And then was like, oh, I used it. Is that what happened?
Well, if you put it that way, yeah. But I mean, you know what? I knew giving it to him.
Wasted it. Come on.
Well, he didn't waste it. Like he didn't waste it, because like
he used it correctly. Like, got screwed.
Yeah,
true.
like
Who could
he
have
did
seen
use
that
it correctly.
coming?
He did use it correctly. I mean, like hindsight 2020, right? Had we known the idol nullifier was going to be played that night, yeah, obviously I would have kept it, and I would have had it tonight to use it on myself or whatever. But you know, it's all part of the game. You just never know what's going to happen, right? Like until tribal. So he did what he did, and you know what? Like at first I was like, but I was like, you know what? Like it doesn't matter. When I gave it to him, it was his. Like I wasn't expecting it to come back to me. It was his, and he did what he had to do, and I'm glad he did play it. And yeah, like kudos to Graham, April, and Brian. Like, man, like idol nullifier and a steal a vote. Like we couldn't, you know, there's no way we could have won against that, right? So yeah.
Were there any moments of the game that stuck out to you as kind of the most fun, like a fun vote, or you know, anybody who it was enjoyable to say bye to?
Yeah, I mean, there's two, and I'm sorry again, Chelsea, but the Chelsea vote was pretty fun because it was a complete blindside. I mean, it was the first vote since the merge. It was a complete blindside, and yeah, knowing that we had the power, like, you know, since Chris played his idol, we had the power. And to turn it against the whole tribe, pretty much, because the whole tribe voted for Pete, right? Yeah. So turn it against the whole tribe on its head and vote Chelsea. I wish that it wasn't Chelsea. I wish that we voted actually Kyle or Brian. But again, hindsight 2020. It was a heat of the moment decision that Chris made, and we just all went with it. That was a fun vote, and I wasn't involved much, even though it was me versus Kyle on the second last vote, I guess. I wasn't really involved at all. It was mostly Chris and Jordan. I found out late, like an hour before voting period, that it was my name on the chopping block, and Chris said I told him, I'm like, Chris, like if I go home tonight, like let me go, you know, like don't like stick your neck out for me. If I go home tonight, I go home tonight. But Chris somehow talked to Jordan, and they worked it out together so that Jordan would play his idol on me and send Kyle home. That was a fun one too, actually. Like, yeah.
Those are great votes. Yeah, the idols. It's funny that so many idols have been played correctly, but also a lot of people have gone home with idols this game too, and so it's nice that there's been variety there.
Yeah.
Who do you want to get voted out next?
Oh man.
It becomes a weightier question as it goes along.
You know what? People on Played, some people have been afraid to name names, but I'm going to name names. And this is nothing personal. It's just pure strategic. But I want to see April go home next. And I know she's the only woman left. And yes, I have nothing against April. She's played an incredible game, but she has been the roadblock for us, the bastards, because actually having Graham back kind of gave us a lifeline, because I guess like people kind of didn't know, like we've like in Navala, like we didn't really make a deal, but we let Graham go, to Kobara, to give him a second life, because he and us, we all knew that, when push comes to shove, the bastards going to stick together and whatnot. So and we wanted to see Graham do well, so we sent him to Kobara, and it was really disappointing to see him get voted off, but to see him come back, it actually gave us a lifeline. And we did work with him for a few votes. I think the only thing I can remember is Sharon vote. He worked with us for Sharon vote, and then I feel like he worked with us for one more after he stopped. But I think that April had a huge influence in Graham not being able to work with us. So it's just purely strategic thing to see her go next. Nothing personal. She's played a great game. But yeah, I do want to see her go next.
And who do you want to
Sorry,
win?
April. I mean, I'm a bit biased. I think John Tenyak's played a great game. Like everyone says, he's played a great game. I like to see him do well and potentially win. He'll have to get his hands dirty sooner or later. And Jordan, I think he's been. I give him respect for branching out, and a lot of people think that the Hamiltons are gonna stick together and whatnot, but I think he's branched out and made his own moves, and like in my personal opinion, to go far in this game, you can't make too much noise and you can't make too little noise. And I think that Jordan's done that.
So that's your ideal top two?
I think so. I mean, also I don't know. Like I think Graham and Brian played a really good game too. Like they all played that middle way, that they weren't too vocal and too visible, and they weren't too much under the radar, I guess. They hovered right in the middle and made their moves when they needed to, and then held back when they didn't need to. And I think they all played a really good game. But yeah, I'm biased. I want John and George to do well in this game. They'll have my vote as a jury.
Awesome. Anything you want to let the players that are still in the game know about anything else other than what you've already said?
No, I think I said a lot, actually. Yeah, I'm actually Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I got voted off right after Chris did. So now that Kyle can say, "Oh, I told you so. You're nothing without Chris." So
Did he say that to you?
I think he said it on the
On
said
his,
it in that new series that him and Chelsea put together, Game Over or something.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think, man, I think that Chelsea has been subliminally putting messages into people's ears to get back at me for being a sneaky fish.
That's right.
Yeah, because I think I was chatting with April today, and she told me she said that Kyle and Chelsea said they would vote for me if I was final two, and I was like, what? No, they wouldn't. Like I was, and lo and behold, in the video, like that's what they said, and it's like yeah, I feel like as soon as people start like Chelsea with Peter German, I don't, like me personally, because I work with Peter throughout the whole game. I don't think Peter was that big of a threat, but I think Chelsea kind of blew it up in her head, and she kind of said so pretty much to everyone, and so thus everyone thinking that, oh, Peter German, we got to get rid of him. He's a big threat. And I think that, I don't know, maybe naming me, saying that they would vote for me or something, that it put a target on my back today. I don't know. I thought I was
I don't
pretty.
think that jury members should be talking to active game players about strategy.
Well, they weren't talking. They made a video, so it's like anyone
Oh.
to watch, right? So it's like, but I was surprised to hear.
Conflict, I think. I don't know. Maybe I just
Yeah.
don't like to. Maybe I just wanted to be the star of the videos, though.
I agree with you. It's a very tough situation where at this point in the game, other people, two members of the jury, start making videos where they break out their opinions on everybody and post it. I don't want.
How do they do it in Ponderosa? Because Ponderosa, that's where they send the outcasts on the show, and sometimes they have a web series, though, right? But I guess the difference is that the people on the island don't have access to Ponderosa videos.
Well, and it's all after. It's all put together and edited until after the show. Like, our game is going to be different. There is going to be some influence, but you're right. It's a very overt way to potentially influence the game, and I don't know if it's done on purpose to be sneaky and to have that influence. But
I think they just want to keep playing the game, and they were really into it, so I get it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you just never know, but I mean, it was definitely entertaining. Like who knows what kind of influence it would have on the active players, but like, I don't know. I think they should keep doing it. It was quite entertaining, and it definitely put another spin to the game, but it could tamper with the current game, and yeah,
current players watch it after. It's just a suggestion.
So, James, have you been watching any? I know you've been really busy at home, and now you're on vacation. But have you found time to watch any shows? Do you even do that? Do you read books? What do you do with your time when you're not building and with your kids?
Yeah, actually, Graham and Brian talked about the show Dark. So yeah, my wife and I have been watching that show. We're on the 3rd season now. I think we got like 3 episodes left, and it's really good. I don't know if you guys seen it.
I started to watch it, but it really requires a lot of concentration.
Yes, it's not an easy watch, especially if you're watching with the subtitles on. Like I hate dubbing. Like I just can't stand it. So I watch it with the subtitles on. But then like, yeah, you have to look at the screen the whole time and then like really pay attention to what's going on. But it's a very intriguing show. Yeah, and I guess I've been reading a Mistborn series. David M actually recommended to me, and I think you guys.
That's Sanderson.
Yeah, Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, it's good. It's a good book. I'm halfway through the 2nd book. It's pretty good. What I'm really waiting for is Winds of Winter by George R. R. Martin.
Can't we lock him in jail? Didn't he say that if he didn't have it out by this time that we could put him in jail?
He missed his deadline again. So yeah, very disappointed, but that's what I'm waiting for. And yeah, that's what I've been getting into.
Cool. Well, I think you played a really good game and you made it so far. Good job.
Yeah. Agreed.
Thanks. Yeah. I surprised myself. Like it's been fun, and yeah, thanks for putting it together. And I am genuinely really excited to go to the barbecue and just meet everyone and see everyone that I haven't seen in a long time. And yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, us as well, man. I'm so glad you're going to be sticking around. That was a nice surprise. I only found out that like a week ago or something like that, and then I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Super pumped.
Now we got to get David Cox and his newborn over to surprise you. And then,
yeah, I think they have a much longer flight than I. So
one thing like with that, I just wanted before we go, I want to say like I was pretty overt with you about like because I had to keep doing the tribal council videos at different times because like I was trying to accommodate both you and David Cox, and I kept saying to you, well, if you don't like it, vote him out. And I you guys against each other just to make my life.
And we did. I know, and we did. I did it for you, Mike.
Yeah, you were last one. So congratulations on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool, man. Well, enjoy your time off. Enjoy vacation with the fam, and we'll see you in a week and a half.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Safe.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.